Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're heading into Berlin, Germany's capital. It's really a city that's constantly, redefined itself. History isn't just in books there, it feels alive. And you sent us some great material, bits from Berlin, a city of history, resilience, and culture, and also that Expedia Berlin Vacation YouTube transcript. So our mission really is to pull out the most compelling stuff about Berlin's journey for you. Let's dive in.
Yeah, what strikes me right away is how both sources show Berlin as, well, forged by history. It's not been a simple path, has it? Lots of dramatic shifts, power, conflict, rebirth. Understanding that constant change is, I think, key to getting Berlin's character.
Absolutely. And, thinking it started so simply, just two little towns on the River Spree, way back in the 13th century. The sources trace how it grew, becoming Prussia's capital, then the German Empire's capital by 1871. That's a huge historical arc.
It really is. And its location, on the European plain, northeast Germany, right on the Spree, that geography has fueled its growth, but also historically made it a bit vulnerable. It's central.
Then bam, the 20th century hits. And Berlin becomes this potent symbol of division. The wall, built in 61. Both sources really emphasize this. It wasn't just concrete, was it? It stood for these clashing ideologies. Communism in the east, capitalism in the west. Hard to really picture the daily impact.
Well, it's fascinating how a physical thing can represent such deep ideological splits. The wall became this everyday reminder of a divided world. It shaped lives, perspectives for generations.
And Berlin's a city where you still see those reminders, like the Brandenburg Gate. It started in the 18th century, neoclassical, meant to be a symbol of peace, the sources say. But its story is much more complex.
Oh, definitely. This is where you really see the layers. The gate's meaning kept shifting. Prussian power, damaged in the war, then isolated during the division.
Stranded in no man's land, yeah.
Before becoming this incredible focal point for reunification in 1990. And standing right there at the start of Unter den Linden, that grand boulevard, just walking towards it feels significant historically.
And nearby, the Reichstag, Germany's parliament. It's got that historical weight, but it's also architecturally, stunning, especially with that glass dome by Norman Foster.
Right, and the Reichstag itself embodies that cycle of destruction and renewal. The 1933 fire was a really pivotal dark moment. So the restoration, especially ending with that transparent dome where you can see out over the city, it feels like a statement, doesn't it? About transparency, about acknowledging the past but moving forward, looking out from the heart of government.
Yeah, that's powerful. Now, for a really gut-level feel of the division, the Berlin Wall Memorial on Bernauer Strasse sounds like a must-see.
Yeah.
They've kept a piece of the wall, a watchtower, there's the documentation center. It aims for an emotional, informative experience.
Exactly. It's not just about showing wall fragments, it's about the human stories, the impact on people, the massive effort towards unity and reconciliation. It's a place for, real reflection.
And then, completely different vibe, the East Side Gallery. Taking another stretch of the wall and turning it into this huge open-air art gallery. Murals by artists from all over. About peace, freedom. They say it's one of the longest outdoor galleries anywhere.
And that transformation is the key thing there, isn't it? Well, it's about separation, oppression, reclaimed as a canvas for hope, making art on the wall itself. That's quite a statement.
Okay, moving into the city's heart. Museum Island. UNESCO site. Just packed with culture. The Pergamon, the Oltes Museum are mentioned, gives you a sense of the depth of history and art there. And right there, too, the Berlin Cathedral, that big Baroque building. You can climb the 270 steps for city views. It's a real mix of history, art, and just perspective.
Museum Island really highlights Berlin's long-standing role as a cultural center, committed to preserving human history and art from around the world. Centuries of culture concentrated right there.
And you can't talk about the wall without mentioning Checkpoint Charlie, right? That famous Cold War crossing. The fact there's a museum now showing the escape attempts from the East adds another layer to understanding that time.
Yeah, it's a really poignant reminder of that drive for freedom, the risks people took. Checkpoint Charlie, even as a tourist spot now, still carries that weight.
Then there's the Holocaust Memorial, an entire city block, described as unsettling but essential, a reminder about intolerance. The scale alone must be incredibly sobering.
It is. And its abstract design, it doesn't give you easy answers. It pushes you to confront the enormity of it yourself. It's about individual contemplation, collective acknowledgement.
Okay, shifting gears a bit.
Yeah.
The Tiergarten Park sounds amazing. This huge green space, 500 acres right in the city. Forests, canals, bike paths. Used to be royal hunting grounds.
Hard to imagine now, isn't it?
Right. And it has landmarks inside it too, like the Victory Column, the Soviet War Memorial, Bellevue Palace, where the president lives. Oh, and the Berlin Zoo. Over 1,500 species. It sounds like a whole world within the city.
The Tiergarten really shows Berlin's commitment to green space, to integrating nature, which both sources mention. It's vital for recreation, relaxation, right downtown.
The Kaiser Wilhelm Memorial Church, that's another one that mixes past and present visually, isn't it? Keeping the bombed-out spire.
Right next to a modern church building.
Yeah, it's like a physical symbol of remembering the destruction, but also rebuilding boldly.
It really speaks to resilience. The damaged part connects to the past. The new part signifies hope, renewal. It's very Berlin.
And the Chapel of Reconciliation, described as the spiritual heart of the wall memorial. Sounds like a quieter, more intimate space for reflection there.
Exactly. It offers that space for contemplation within the bigger historical site, a bit of peace amidst that heavy history.
The DDR Museum also sounds intriguing. An interactive look at life in East Germany. Reading about it is one thing, but actually sort of engaging with the objects and environments, that must give a different kind of understanding.
It allows for a more personal connection, yeah. Beyond just the big political picture, you get a sense of everyday life for ordinary people in the GDR.
We also hear about places like Bebelplatz with Humboldt University and Alexanderplatz, which was developed as a kind of Soviet architectural showcase during the Cold War. Plus the Fernsehturm, that futuristic TV tower from the 60s, still looks pretty space age.
These different squares and landmarks, they all tell parts of Berlin's story, reflecting the different eras and forces that shape the city's look and feel.
And Potsdamer Platz, once the Times Square of Berlin, then devastated, now totally regenerated. A modern hub. It really seems to capture that cycle of transformation.
Absolutely. It's a prime example of urban renewal, of the city's ability to just reinvent itself after huge disruption. It signals a turning point looking forward.
So pulling it all together, what emerges is this picture of modern Berlin as, well, vibrant, thriving. It seems to really live out unity, diversity, creativity. It's interesting that both sources mention it feels spacious, even with, 3.5 million people.
Yeah, and that emphasis on being green is strong. Not just parks and lakes, but a kind of political greenness, too.
That commitment to green space and sustainability, that's a big part of Berlin now. Reflects a wider awareness,
Definitely.
And getting around sounds easy. Bike paths everywhere, flat terrain. It encourages exploring on foot or bike.
And that accessibility, it lets you connect more deeply with the neighborhoods, make your own discoveries. It fosters a more personal feel for the city.
The sources also talk about the architecture, this mix of styles. Gothic, Baroque, socialist, futuristic, all coexisting. Must be visually fascinating.
It is. It's like walking through a timeline. Each style tells a story of its era, creates a really unique urban fabric.
And districts like Kreuzberg come up. Trendy now, cafes, street art, multicultural, but with roots in counterculture. Sounds like a real hub of modern Berlin life.
Kreuzberg really embodies that independent spirit, that embrace of diversity and alternative ways of living. It's where creativity and different communities really mix.
And the art scene generally sounds huge. Big galleries, independent spaces, street art everywhere. Just buzzing with expression.
Art is vital there. It's how the city talks about its past, engages with the present, looks to the future. It's dynamic.
And we can't forget the food. From German classics like currywurst.
Can't go to Berlin without trying currywurst.
Right. To all sorts of international food. Places like Marktell and Noon get mentioned, showcasing that diversity. Sounds delicious.
Food is culture, right. And Berlin's food scene totally reflects its global population and history.
So ultimately, both sources seem to land on this idea of Berlin as a living museum. The past is right there, but so is this incredible present-day energy. It's a city that didn't just survive its history, it embraced transformation, constantly reinventing itself. Dynamic, compelling. It really sounds like Berlin demonstrates what's possible with tolerance, creativity, and, sheer resilience.
An amazing story. A city facing huge challenges, emerging as this symbol of unity and forward thinking in Europe.
So, wrapping up our deep dive into Berlin. We've seen centuries unfold, from division to reunification, explored its landmarks, felt its modern pulse. It's definitely a city that sticks with you. You see it in the buildings, the art, the atmosphere. And it leaves us with this thought for you to consider. Given Berlin's incredible journey through division and then finding unity, what other deep divisions in our world today, ones that seem impossible to overcome, might just hold a surprising potential for transformation and coming together?